The Little Black Sheep of Connemara, written by Elizabeth Shaw and published by O'Brien Press. Once there was a shepherd who lived far, far away in the mountains. He had a sheepdog called Polo, who helped him to look after the sheep. Polo watched the sheep while the shepherd sat on a mossy rock and knitted. He knitted socks and scarves and pullovers and blankets made of pure sheep's wool and sold them at the village market. When the shepherd noticed that a sheep was straying too far from the flock, he took out a wooden whistle and blew it. This was to tell Polo to run after the sheep and chase it back to the others. Polo felt very important then. At sunset, the shepherd blew his whistle again. This meant that Polo should run up the sheep and chase them into the fold. As they jumped over the stile, the shepherd counted them to make sure they were all there. All the sheep were white except one, the little black sheep. When Polo barked, "All to the left," or "Right turn," or "Halt," they all did what they were told. All, that is, except the little black one, who often turned to the left when he should turn to the right because he was thinking of something else. This annoyed Polo. "That black sheep does not do as he's told," Polo said to the shepherd, "and he thinks too much. Sheep don't need to think. I think for them." The little black sheep wished he were like the others. "Polo sees my mistakes because I'm black," he said to the shepherd. "Could you please knit me a little white jacket so that I am the same as all the others?" "Oh no," said the shepherd. "You are a very handy little sheep. When I count you all jumping into the fold, I could fall asleep. But I'm always jerked awake by my little black sheep, jumping over the stile, especially if you stumble." Polo, however, liked all his flock to be just the same. "You just wait," he snarled at the black sheep. "I'll see that you are sold after shearing time, and then we'll have a nice tidy flock." The little black sheep looked wistfully at the little white fleecy clouds in the sky. "The shepherd says that they are all the souls of good little sheep," he thought. "Maybe one day I'll be a little white cloud too." Then he noticed that the sky was growing dark behind the mountain. "It's going to rain," he called. "I'll tell you when it's going to rain," snapped Polo. But soon after, a sudden storm broke with hail and wind and snow. "My knitting will be ruined," cried the shepherd. "Come on, Polo, we must run for shelter." They ran to the shepherd's little hut, and the sheep will be all right. They have their nice woolly coats. The shepherd made a cosy fire to dry his things and had a hot drink or two. Night fell. "We'll see the sheep tomorrow," said the shepherd. "No need to worry," said Polo. "They'll stay where they are because I'm not there to tell them what to do," and he stretched out beside the fire. Meanwhile, the sheep were getting nervous and upset. "Where's Polo?" they bleated. "What are we to do?" "We must look for shelter," said the little black sheep. "Follow me. I think I know where there's a cave." He led them up the hill where there were some hollow rocks with an overhanging ledge. "We must stay close together and keep each other warm. I'll look out for the shepherd when it's light," said the little black sheep. The next morning, the snow had stopped falling, but as far as the eye could see, all was white. "Finding sheep today is like trying to find an ice cream dropped near the North Pole," said the shepherd. "I am a bad shepherd," he sighed, and he wished he had not slept so long the night before. "Now I've lost my sheep. And how will they manage without me?" said Polo. Then they saw a black spot on the top of the hill. "Polo," cried the shepherd, "perhaps that is our little black sheep." They hurried towards the black spot. Under the ledge of rock, they found all the sheep safe and sound. There were great celebrations. "Oh, my little black sheep," said the shepherd fondly. "But for you, I might not have found my flock." "Well, maybe he is useful as a landmark if nothing else," growled Polo jealously. The sun came out and the snow melted. "Form ranks! Forward march!" barked Polo. The shepherd carried the little black sheep down the hill. "I always said you were a handy little sheep," he said. When shearing time came, the shepherd put the wool into sacks. There were 10 sacks of white wool and 1 little sack of black wool. "Now, how about selling that black sheep?" said Polo. "Then we would have a nice tidy flock." "No, indeed," said the shepherd. "I have a much better idea. I can knit lovely patterns out of black and white wool." He knitted patterned socks and scarves and blankets and sold them for a good price at the market. With the money, he bought some more black sheep. Soon he had a flock of black and white and spotted sheep. Each one was different, and that was nice because now they were all the same. The end.